There are basically two types of rogues that, from my experience, that are out there. There are the Mavericks, and the Mavericks have a complete disregard for your brand standards and kind of run on their own process. And then there's the rule hawks, who attempt to follow and respond to the brand standards and all the marketing requests. Both have their negative impact and can sort of thwart some of your marketing activity. But let's take a little deeper look at each one of these. Let's first talk about the Maverick. The Maverick is my personal favorite since I was one of these in the past. The Maverick is the Jack Bauer of the world, Jack Bauers of the world, who charge ahead on their own mission with little or no regard for brand rules or guidelines. They have a complete unwillingness to wait for any of the up-to-date messaging to be able to kind of drive to their customers. So they often create their own messaging without a second thought. They'll run amok with the brand assets, and as a result, they're probably one of the biggest contributors to brand dilution or brand damage or inconsistency that you may have. And from my experience, the challenge is they typically are some of your top producing salespeople as well. So consequently, you've had, up until this point, you've had a limited ability to control them or change their behavior kind of and funnel it in a more positive fashion. The rule hawks, on the other hand, are a slightly different group. They are, from my experience, typically more of your average performers. They started off thinking they were Mavericks, driving in the same way. They'd seen somebody else be effective doing that in the organization, or thinking that they were effective. But as a strong marketing organization, we may have beaten them into submission, and as payback, they attempt to follow the rules as closely as possible and basically overwhelming us with a set of requests, and potentially converting a portion of the marketing organization into their own personal assistants. So making these low-value requests, bottlenecking us in marketing efficiency, and the real challenge of the rule hawks is if they're not accommodated, they'll end up screaming and blame any hiccup in their performance on a lack of support from the marketing organization. We have all experienced the headbutting between sales and marketing organizations that occurs. Rogues are a key component of that, and they help fuel this conflict and disharmony. Mavericks can dilute your brand and create customer confusion and create distance with your customers. Rule hawks, again, are negatively impacting your efficiency and creativity, as well as impacting the quality of life in the marketing organization and the overall morale. So both need to be better managed, both need to be better controlled in today's environment, and what we'd like to do is show you how by empowering them you can achieve kind of much better results. I spent a lot of time kind of talking about some of the downsides of rogues. I would like to spend a little bit of time talking about the upside. There is upside in that they often have a positive effect on the marketing department. Their demand for new and better materials pushes us to evolve more quickly. The high demand for faster production, again, drives us to produce more efficiently than we have in the past. And their feet on the street, firsthand knowledge of the customer's pains and needs and situation is invaluable to sort of driving us to better customer engagement and better results. So addressing their wants and needs of your top salespeople can often be, and also by addressing and specifically figuring out what the best practices you have across your sales teams can help improve the overall efficiency and effectiveness of your sales teams and your marketing organization. So how do you lose the bad and keep the good? How do you convert your rogue marketers from a pain in the neck into a powerful marketing asset? Over the next few slides, what I'm going to do is try to highlight the few key best practices that you can follow to implementing, a solution and really converting them into a powerful marketing asset. The first step and best practice to almost every organization is to really take those digital marketing assets that you have and organize them into a digital warehouse. Too often we create compelling material, some compelling assets, and never use them again. We simply, are excited about the creative process and move on to the next campaign or the next task, and don't take the time to stop and implement a solution that allows us, or a tool that allows us to better share, enable the rest of the sales and marketing teams to reuse the marketing assets, campaigns, and creative materials that we create. This reuse framework can be done in a more manual fashion through file sharing or better process definition, But what I found, and I highly recommend, is that you implement a solution or a tool with a digital asset management and repository capability to make the management, use, and distribution of this content across your enterprise much, much easier. Next is really empower your rogues with the right set of tools so that they can localize and personalize their communication. So you stay focused on managing the core content, the core message, and they focus on just doing the more slight localization and personalization aspects of the communication. Many of us, as an example, many of us manage our own investments, do our own taxes with the help of a tool. We see the adoption of distributed empowerment, I think, in every facet of our lives today, allowing your field salespeople to select which content is right for their prospects and their customers, and allowing them to personalize and customize the communications and their interactions, is the right strategy going forward. You'll be amazed at the results you can achieve by empowering them, with this capability. The number one concern of most organizations is I still want to maintain control of my brand, but hopefully, through your experience and what you've heard through this presentation, rogue marketing, like death and taxes, is inevitable. So, the best approach that I found is to, allow your rogues to follow their rogue impulses, but make sure that they are appropriately harnessed and controlled so that their desire to run can be channeled in the right direction and end up, not diluting the brand, your brand, and chipping away at your brand integrity, but instead achieving the results that you need. So to accomplish this, you need a solution that allows you to have extensive role management capability and select which capabilities or what level of autonomy you want to be able to provide your distributed sales teams. So it's got to have this nice balance between the right blend of autonomy and the right blend of control. So you need to be able to define business rules and content usage rules and customize that on a global basis and on a very granular individual rep or role basis within your organization. Visibility. Getting complete visibility is a key thing in today's environment. So whenever you're looking at a tool to sort of better help and convert your rogue marketers, make sure that the tool you select gives you the visibility that you need to monitor, manage, and optimize the distribution of information within your organization. One of the biggest benefits of empowering your rogues is this new level of visibility and insight that you'll gain. Which assets are the most, are getting most used, which assets are getting used at what stage of the sales cycle, what do my top performers do that's different from my bottom performers, how can I sort of communicate that value, how do I capture and share these best practices across my organization. So what I found is with a sophisticated marketing automation solution, you're able to get the visibility into all of your prospects and all of your customer interactions so that you're not just focusing on the lead generation phase, but that bottom part of the sales funnel, which is, I think, where the gap exists in the marketplace today, and this new level of visibility there is going to provide you kind of much better results and ability to optimize your activity. Ease of use. Make sure that the solution that you implement is easy to use and integrated. This is probably the most important point that I can make. Ease of use, ease of use, ease of use. Like the rule in real estate of location, 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 ease of use is everything. It will define your success and failure in rolling out a solution within your enterprise. This may seem obvious, but it is probably the most often overlooked criteria that I run into. If a solution is not intuitive, easy to use, and integrated with the sales team's current processes and work habits, the sales teams will not use it, they will not adopt it, you will not get any value out of it. So don't become too enamored with a solution that has, a lot of, knobs and whistles to turn and dials to turn. Like your corporate messaging, more is less here. Keep it simple, keep it easy to use, and you'll get the highest level of adoption, the broadest impact, and the broadest value.